Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Two Brothers, Same Mother. I'm sorry, I was just looking at the lighting. You know, it seems bright, but then it seems dark. It kind of feels like the Eagle season.
Yeah.
Listen, so I'm going to try to be positive for the most part, except for the two parts of this episode here. One is what went wrong. That's what we're supposed to do, point out what went wrong. And two, if you notice, I'm wearing a Dan Marino Miami Dolphins jersey. Why? I wanted to wear a quarterback jersey that I was proud of. And I'll just leave it at that. Notice he's wearing a Jaworski jersey.
Charles, a lot of these Eagles fans probably think I'm wearing a Vic. No, there was a number 7 prior to Michael Vick that actually was a really good quarterback.
Good old Bobby Warner.
Oh, man. No, he actually led us to our first Super Bowl.
Oh, you're talking about Charles. I thought you were being funny.
No, because a lot of people think, like, one time I had it and they were like, oh, you got a Vic jersey when I posted it. And I was like, no.
The guy that owns the golf courses? Yeah, he played football.
Charles Jaworski.
Wasn't he on Monday Night Football at one time?
Yeah.
But anyway, okay. So we're kind of stalling. We're going to go with what went right because it's going to be kind of short. And I'm just going to let you start. What were some of the things that you thought went right? First thing I want to say is defensive line. Okay, BG continues to be
another strip sack. Just non-stop, man. He just doesn't quit.
You know what they said about him? I didn't realize he's never been to the Pro Bowl, even as an ultimate.
Never been a Pro Bowl. Never had double sack season.
That I did know. But he's up to 7.
Yeah, he's probably. I think he's been in the top 3. Especially, I think at least the last 5 or 6 years in QB pressures.
Yes.
So he just constantly keeps coming.
Nice game by Fletcher Cox too.
Yes.
5 quarterback hurries. Yes. He had a sack. 3 tackles for loss.
Nate Gary didn't play this game, and it actually looked like we had a linebacker on the field. And that young man, his name is T.J. Edwards. 13 tackles, 6 solos tackles, 1 sack, and 2 tackles for loss. And they gave him the credit for the forced fumble, but I kind of tend to more think it was Josh Sweat, it looked like, that got in that forced that fumble. And one last thing, it was once again Fogel again. Yeah. They're calling him Fogo, you know what I mean? Now in Philly, everybody has to have a nickname. So 6 catches on 7 targets, 78 yards and a touchdown.
There's one more thing I want to point out too,
okay.
Because I've been kind of hard privately on this guy. What's your thoughts on Rager?
I thought he played good. He had three catches on 6 targets.
So this is my apology because I was wrong on that.
Oh man, my brother's better than yours.
Awesome. I saw a Rager jersey and I said, let me pick that up for him because Miles Sanders and Jalen Rager, he has been very bullish on. And so he has the Sanders jersey.
Damn near pig-headed about.
Yes.
Stubborn.
And Rager got his first touchdown last night. It was good to see that. That was the one good thing. On a second effort at that. We got to go to what went wrong. And I'm going to start with something small. Because we all know the other 2 things we're going to talk about. That's Hightower, man.
Are we doing what went wrong?
Yes.
Okay.
So,
all right.
So with Hightower... No, I'm not. Hightower is not what went right. It just seems like the kid is lost as to when to be aggressive. He can't really track the ball that well, and it almost looked like his legs were dead too on that pass. Like it's just weird. It looks like you could see that there's talent there, and you could see that he could be a deep threat. And I think that you get him around the right coaching. Whole another story, but he could be more than a one-trick pony. But it seems like there's some mental blocks there. It's not just physical. What round was he drafted in? He was drafted in the 5th. So
that's what he looks like. I mean, honestly, he looks like
your traditional fifth round pick because there's
receiver. I think he's actually played better than a 5th round receiver. Maybe a mid 4th round receiver.
Well, it's weird because you've seen flashes where. I mean, you look at his play against the Giants, and it seemed like he was a bit, aggressive and confident. And then you look last night, it looked like he had no confidence. It's bipolar.
On that pass, that should have never fucking been thrown, with which we talked about, with a minimal of fucking 25-mile-per-hour winds and up to 40-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and you fucking heave it downfield.
What are you doing?
Like, what are you doing? Dumb football. Just dumb fucking football. But whether you were on the same page or not, throwing that pass, the kid was like this. It definitely looked like the D-back who has been giving up touchdowns left and right all year on deep passes looked like he knew the route better than John Hightower. So I put that on both. As far as, first of all, it was a bad route by John Hightower, but most importantly, it was a pass that should have never fucking been thrown.
And hold on, before we get into, Doug and Carson, just one quick thing about Pro Football Focus. Fucking hate Pro Football Focus. Chris Collinsworth runs Pro Football Focus. It is trash. How the hell are you going to say that Darius Slay is the 41st rated defensive back and Jalen Mills is the 43rd? You're trying to tell me Jalen Mills and Darius Slay are on the same playing field and have the same kind of talent and been performing the same way this year? Are you out of your mind? Whoever put that together does not have the mental capacity to look at a football field and use their eyes and their senses to see what is good and what's not good. Because I am a Jalen Mills fan. I like Jalen Mills, but let's be honest. Speaking of bipolar, he'll make a couple good plays to celebrate like he just won the Super Bowl, and then for the rest of the 3 quarters of the game, he will be very bad and get very lucky. Okay? Where Darius Slay has arguably been the best and most consistent corner in the NFL this year. It's just that they're not throwing at him, okay? He's been more consistent than Gilmore. He's been more consistent than Jalen Ramsey. Now, if you want to say Ramsey's better than him or Gilmore, I'm not going to argue that. But as far as consistency, Darius Slay, it is no doubt in my mind that he's a top 5 corner. And beyond those other 2 guys, I think that he has been performing better than anybody else in the NFL. So to say that he's on the same plane as Jalen Mills, Chris Collinsworth, just shut down Pro Football Focus. Just shut it down. You're embarrassing yourself.
Pro Football Focus is stupid. I would put 2 corners above Darius Slay right now. And that is which I arguably feel is the best corner. And when I look at a player, people just, once again, just like Pro Football Focus based off of stats, right? I don't just go by that. You get what I'm saying? Uh-huh. I go by, once again, the eye test, but I also go by who's he playing against, who's he...
I'm sorry. Blah, 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 I know where you're going to get to, too. So Marlon Humphrey
is the best corner in the league. And when I do that, because he also plays the run really well.
Right.
And Slay will come up and make a tackle. But I'll put Ramsey slightly above Slay, but I will put him at the number 3rd corner in the league. And to say, I watched Jalen Mills play corner... this year, I forget which game it was. I think it was 2 weeks ago. He had to play corner.
He's so-so. At best.
He looked like he forgot how to play corner, in my opinion. But and saying he's so-so, that's.
And that's coming from a guy that I really like Jalen. I really like Jalen Mills. I'm a Jalen Mills fan, like I said. So, who do you want to start with, Carson or Doug?
All right, so I'm going to go start with Carson.
I'm just going to sit back and relax on this one.
Wentz, 4 turnovers.
By the way, Dallas only had 3 all year. Carson has 12 interceptions now.
I think he has 12. He has 12 interceptions, 12 touchdowns.
Yeah, and I'm not sure how many fumbles he has. But Carson Wentz has more turnovers by himself than 30 of the 32 NFL teams. The other NFL teams, the Eagles, and the Vikings, who have Kirk Cousins, who will probably next week throw 4 interceptions because he wants to be the top spot. But go ahead.
4 turnovers, 3 of which were 100% on Carson. Anybody that knows me, anybody that's friends with me on social media, I will argue tooth and nail about Carson Wentz. I will throw out all the reasons why Carson is struggling. I have very good reasons why Carson is struggling. What I saw out of Carson Wentz was just dumb, idiotic football. Just dumb. I get the gunslinger mentality. I get it. But, bro, listen. Your first turnover, it was 3rd and 16. There was no way. That sack wasn't on you on 2nd down. Mailata just got beat, hands down.
Well, and I just want to stop real quick because there is one thing I do want to point out.
What?
You know the Eagles have a really, really good punter. Like, whether it is the eye test or statistically, we're going to speak, right? I swear this is water. We have a historically good punter. Mm-hmm. That could be a very good tool. All you need to look at was the Rams game from last week with what Heckler did and how he was pinning people against the Bears. Like, that punter can be a great tool. Don't be afraid to use it.
We'll get on that.
Yeah.
But 3rd and 16, that was just stupid. Even if you throw it and you complete it, you may get 6 yards out of it. Maybe. If you complete it and he breaks a tackle too, you may have gotten 6 yards out of it. Throw it away. Stupid. Second turnover. Interception. Yo, it's 1st down. It's 1st fucking down. We are in Giants. We are in Dallas territory. Yo, why are you throwing in the double cover? I get you were kind of trying to throw the ball away. You claim you were trying to throw the ball away. The wing guy. I get all that. But it was a bad read by you, Wentz. It was a bad read by you. You dropped back. You had Ward going across the middle. So I get you on like a 3-yard in route. I get you bootleg. So I didn't want you throwing the ball across. I get all that. But on the bottom of the screen, people, if you go back and watch that game or even the highlight on that, pause it. You see on a wheel route, you see fucking Boston Scott has 2 steps, not a huge, 2 steps on the fucking defender. Wentz just lobs it like this. Even if the wing catches it overthrown, the next person close to him is 20 yards down the field, Garden Rieger. Why make that fucking pass?
And not only
stupid.
That, if you're going to throw it to Rieger in that position, you have to throw it in a place where only he can get it or it's incomplete, which would have not been over his head, but down here where it would either hit the ground. But to your point, we're talking about...
Should never threw it.
Right. We're talking about you have now a 20% chance of completing it as opposed to 5%.
The next turnover, I personally feel was not Wentz's fault.
And this is the fumble on
4th down.
Yes.
Which I'll get to Doug, which we're going to get to Doug about that play. Just stupid. Okay. 4th turnover. The John Hightower pass. Listen, once again, 1st down. Why are you throwing that pass? You had actually enough room because you rolled out. You had enough room to get You had enough. It was 1st down. You had enough to get 2 yards and get out of bounds and then not throw it away. Just stupid.
Well, this is the only slight defense I'll give to that 4th turnover. Okay. Now, if you have Hightower one-on-one with a corner that had been struggling all year, and taking that shot, I don't have a problem with that, except it's 25-mile-per-hour winds. What are you doing? That's where I have the issue. There is no reason why, when winds are that bad, okay, there are teams that won't kick a field goal more than 35 yards. So if you're not willing to kick a field goal 35 yards in winds like that are between 25 to 40 mile per hour, depending on the gust, and it's swirling winds at the link, why in the world are you taking a shot like that?
25 mile minimal. I've been in that end of the end zone. It's the open field of the end zone. That wind comes in there and howls.
And it cuts.
And it cuts. That was just stupid football. The other thing, honestly, if we just started with the what went wrong, 2 things went wrong. But it was 2 people. Wentz, which I just went over. Just dumb bonehead football. Not gunslinger. Not trying to make a play. Not just dumb. Dumb backyard football bullshit by Carson Wentz. 2, Doug Peterson. In the city, they give nicknames. He was called Big D Doug.
Big Balls Doug.
Big Balls Doug. I'm giving you a new name there, Doug. Dipshit Doug. DSD. Because your decision making all year, every game, has been dipshit. You have high winds going in that stadium, right? Big winds all going around. You have a team, fucking quarterback Ben DiNucci, who didn't even look like he even deserved to be playing in the NFL, let alone quarterback the Dallas Cowboys.
And yet, by mid-fourth quarter, he started looking a little comfortable. Now, granted, it was very, very childish football. Hey, if they blitz, you throw it to your safety valve and take the sack. But sometimes it's just that simple.
They played off coverage until they got to midfield. But we'll get to that.
Right.
But it was punt it. 4th and 3. Punt it.
Well, here's
punt it. Pin them deep. The way your defense was, pin them deep. Because I guarantee they don't even cross midfield at that point. Pin them deep. Why fucking go for it on 4th and 3 at that point, though? I don't give a fuck. Oh, we could have ran it. Oh, Boston Scott had this. It's 4th and 3 at the third. We had shown at that point in time we couldn't stop a simple stunt by the D-line and linebacker blitz. And guess what they did? A simple stunt with the D tackles. And Van Der Esch blitzed the A-gap, and Carson fumbled.
And listen, there was a 4th and 1. You are facing, literally, by the eye test and statistically, the worst run defense in NFL history. Boston Scott had over 50 yards in his first 3 carries. Boston Scott could have had a game like Dalvin Cook had. Ran for over 180 yards, okay? He could have. It's not a doubt in my mind, okay? And 4th and 1, you're dropping back Carson in a traditional drop back pass. Why? Why are you doing some sort of double reverse stuff with Greg Ward in midfield?
That's what I was midfield on 3rd down.
Why do you have Jalen Hurts on 1st and goal come in and then you get a delay of game? You're trying to get Carson going and you take him off the field when he has a chance to score a touchdown. Why? To a guy who before this year had, I think maybe 2 turnovers in the red zone? Like Carson, his whole career? Like, he was statistically one of the best in the red zone at protecting the ball. Which is hard to believe if you've been following this season.
Carson went, and I'll get that, hold on. 2-point conversions. Chill with that shit, yo. For real. Just fucking chill with the 2-point conversions. Stop. Motherfuckers act like Carson Wentz has been a turnover machine his whole fucking career. Up until this year, Carson Wentz had the best 3rd down conversion rate as any starting quarterback over a certain amount of games. I forget what it was in NFL history. Carson Wentz had the best touchdown to interception ratio as any starting quarterback in NFL history in his first 4 years as a starting quarterback. So this isn't Carson Wentz. As far as, and what I mean is, yes, it's Carson Wentz throwing the ball. It's Carson Wentz. No, that's what I'm saying. It is what I'm saying is this isn't his game.
We're not watching Carson Wentz.
We're not watching. Yes, that's what I mean.
Yes.
We're not watching. This isn't the Carson that I completely defend. This is a guy who is not being fucking coached right. People can sit there, they're professionals. This is his 5th year. Fuck that. Peyton Manning was being coached in year 18. Ben Roethlisberger is still being coached in year 17. You have to coach this kid. His fucking mechanics show it. His fucking decision-making shows it. He is begging to fucking be coached, and you dumb motherfuckers refuse to do it because you want to be his fucking buddy. You want to bring in his hunting buddy as his QB coach.
I will say this.
Terrible.
If I see...
And this is on Doug. This is on Doug. This is on Doug. Period. It's on fucking Doug.
If I see any pictures of Press Taylor and Carson Wentz hunting together during this bye week, I might break my phone. And that's even if I see it on a computer. I might find my phone. I'm not breaking my computer. But it's to that extent because the kid, I heard this, and I give credit, I heard this on 97.5 The Fanatic in Philadelphia. A caller called in and said that Carson needs a coach that is going to shove his foot so far up his butt that the water in that coach's knee will quench his thirst.
And that's true. He had one.
And he had one. Yeah, and Carson needs that.
Yes. There are players, just in general, okay? There are players that need to be coached hard.
Randy Moss, another prime example of someone that needed to be coached hard. When he was coached hard in Minnesota and when he was coached hard
in New England,
phenomenal. When he went to Oakland, and it was the Oakland Raiders at the time, that's why he just... Same thing when he, even though he's at the end of his career with Tennessee, it was because nobody wanted to push him. Oh, Randy Moss. No.
Right. No, they need to be challenged. They need to be pushed. Filippo did that. Basketball, you can have one really good player on the basketball.
Carry everybody.
Even in baseball, you can have a shutdown pitcher that can, you get what I'm saying? Like, take over a game and boom.
In hockey, if you have a shutdown goalie, forget it.
Yes, forget it. I challenge anybody. Anybody that knows me, anybody that watches the show, hit me up on Facebook. I challenge anybody to show me a quarterback that every year he has a different running back. Every year, half his offensive line isn't there. For 3 straight years now. Every year, he has a different group of receivers to throw to. Because either injury or you're just bringing in a bunch of people. Every year. And I'm not making excuses for him. But I'm just saying as the big picture. This team, this coaching staff, Doug Peterson, are failing this kid. They're failing him. They're just failing him.
So, the only positive I can bring out of this
Hold on, real quick. I'm sorry. One other thing. People want to say bench him. People want to say, oh, I take this quarterback over him. Listen. And I hear what y'all saying. But if they can't keep consistency around this kid, any quarterback coming to this team is going to look like dog shit because we can't keep people healthy. We can't show a continuity. We can't play to anybody's strengths because we're so fucking bullheaded because we're trying to constantly force a square peg in a round hole.
So, we're going to flip it. Go to, is it real or is it fantasy? Because I want to ask you about just some stuff around the league. And we're going to start with a guy who I didn't even think was going to play. He was doubtful. And not only did he play, he showed out.
Did he have 4 touchdowns or something?
He had 3. Yeah. Dalvin Cook. Now, here's the interesting thing I do want to just ask fantasy-wise. He has had a touchdown in every single game that he's played this year. A couple games. He had one game where he had 2. Yes, Sunday he had 3. Every other game he's had 1. Do you think that Dalvin Cook, for the rest of this year, will have a touchdown in every single game that he plays?
Good God. It's hard for me to answer that because I don't know their schedule.
I mean, I could tell you.
And I like how you said that he plays in.
Yeah, because he missed 2 games. He didn't play in them. And so we're not talking about, Dalvin Cook is on a pitch count and is only playing 10 plays. I mean, he plays a full game. Listen, the guy had over 200 all-purpose yards.
This is going in a week. So was there 8 games left?
Yeah. You're talking about it's the NFC North.
Now, are you talking about just the average? Is he going to have 8 more touchdowns?
No. I'm talking about in every single game. Is he going to have at least 1 touchdown?
I'm going to put my neck on the line. I'm going to put my neck on and say yeah.
I actually think he does too. Listen, the Vikings actually have all the pieces there for a great offense, with the exception of the decision-making of Cousins. I would kill to have Dalvin Cook, Justin Jefferson, Thielen, and Kyle Rudolph. That would be incredible to have those for Carson. But I think he does, man. I think he actually scores a touchdown in every game he plays and will have a touchdown in 14 out of 16 games. The other 2 games, he didn't play. But just one other tidbit. Another guy who, speaking of bipolar, Buster Boom is what we call them. Guys who either they're going to get you 40 points or get you 2 points. Chase Claypool this past weekend did great against the Ravens. Obviously, we all know his coming out party was against the Eagles. But in between there, very, very quiet. Do you think that...
maybe fantasy-wise, but he still played good.
Well, he had 2 catches one game, 1 catch another game. Like, it's not even about fantasy. It's just, as far as production.
But in those games, your boy Juju, Jerry Rice.
We gonna get
played good in those games.
We gonna get to the GOAT Juju in a minute.
So yeah, Juju to go. It's almost pick your poison with Pittsburgh between them two receivers.
Well, not only that, I mean they got Washington. They got they just seem like they just pick people out of the crowd.
I ain't gonna front, man. Yo, somebody in Philly need to call Pittsburgh, because Pittsburgh always finds
a receiver,
and it's not
every year,
man. And it's not even like these cats be 5th round picks, 6th round picks.
Well, Claypool was a 2nd rounder, I believe. So
he was. But what I'm saying is,
Antonio Brown was a 6th round pick.
Yeah, they always do fine. Man, Ben stays. Once again, that's what I go to. Ben stays with a playmaker always.
So here's my question. As far as stable, no, you're fine. Do you think that Chase Claypool is going to actually stable out to be someone who is going to be a lot more high value? Or is he going to be a guy that's more like, hey, 1 or 2 catches, but one of those catches is going to be like 56?
Oh, no, he's going to be stable. He's going to be...
a stable high value? Or
Yeah.
Okay. So I was just curious because it just seems weird. Like you look, and fantasy, you look at past weeks, 42 points, 2 points, 3 points, 62 points. It's like, what in the world?
Because it becomes a pick your poison.
Right. And it's just who you focused on.
Yeah.
So then we get to Super Smith-Schuster. Juju the Great.
Juju the GOAT.
Now, the past couple weeks, ever since that we came out a couple weeks ago talking about Juju, and then we started joking about last week, that dude must watch the show.
Well, he has to, because like the second, actually, I think some of my show, the first half he was but then the second half it was like, all right, yeah.
So, but when Hollywood Brown did his dance, he said, "Oh, okay." Yeah. So here's the funny thing.
That too, because Hollywood Brown's throwing his quarterback and his coaches under the bus.
Well, who's he related to? 16 catches the past 2 games for Juju against Tennessee and Baltimore. Do you think that Juju has finally put it together and is going to start being the receiver that people tried to argue with little AJ about that was a top 5 or top 10 receiver?
No. I just think Juju benefits off of Claypool, the emergence of
Claypool. And Washington has a lot of guys, man.
Yeah.
But, okay. See, fantasy football, he did some analysis. We'll keep it quick and easy. Dalvin Cook, going to be a monster. Claypool and Juju, they're good 1-2 punch, but they might not even be your 1 or 2 punches. Some weeks they might be the 4th or 5th option. So, good to know. By the way, Eric Ebron is another guy that benefits too, which he made the Pro Bowl last year. Some of the Steelers ended up with him, or 2 years ago. Go figure. So, now we got to get to the picks. Okay? I went 10-4. You went 507. So now I will.
Jeebus.
Another positive thing. So we do a pick segment. It comes up Sunday mornings. I'm going to start putting it up Saturday evenings. Okay, and I'll discuss all those picks and stuff during that segment. So just look out for that at the end of the week. But
we won somebody $90-something.
Yeah. So we did do AJ, who, as you know, Kate Arthur don't bet. But he said, bet the Steelers and bet the over. And I placed a $25 bet and I didn't tell him. And it won. It ended up winning $96 altogether. So I take my $25 investment. The other $70 I'm actually going to give to you. So, it made $70 in a regular jersey. So there you go. So you got to do something to make him smile before he starts. He almost broke my bar. And I'm banging about the...
I legitimately was getting ready to fucking head up to Philly and be like, yo, right before halftime, and be like, give me your fucking play sheet.
So, all right, we're going to start the Thursday night game. Green Bay, who lost to the Vikings, at San Francisco, who also lost. But San Fran, listen, man, we don't know if Garoppolo's going to play or not. His ankle doesn't look healed, even if he is going to play.
But he played yesterday, right?
He did, and he left in the 4th. Kittle left in the 4th as well. Green Bay didn't look all that great. Niners looked awful. What's your thought?
I think Green Bay wins 27-20.
So I have, I don't think San Francisco's going to be all there. I think Green Bay wins 28-10. Texans at Jaguars.
there's two more teams. There's three teams that are more of a fucking hot mess than the Philadelphia Eagles. We played one last night, the other two being Jacksonville and the Jets. I go Houston 28-14.
I have a little higher score now. I have Houston 31-20. We'll see what happens. It just seems like the Jaguars can score but can't stop anybody, and they're not that prolific with that either. So good game for Deshaun Watson. Mm-hmm. Oh, great divisional game. The Giants at the Washington football.
It's actually, you know what? The Giants actually have a decent defense, way better than projected, especially after the last 2 years. Their defense was and then the Washington football team, their defensive line is legit. I'm gonna go Washington. 20-24.
Yeah, give me WFT for the win. 21-17. So we're in agreement with the same ones. Ravens at the Colts. The Colts have a top 5 defense. The Ravens, you know what they can do defensively.
Yeah. I don't know what's going on with Lamar. I mean, there's speculation that he tweaked his knee. They're saying that maybe in Baltimore, that what they're saying is he's really been impacted by the death of his best friend. Listen, they still got Phillip Rivers as their quarterback in Indy, and that defense is going to get after him. I'm going Baltimore. 31-23.
So initially, I thought the Ravens were going to blow the Colts out. I thought there was going to be 38-17, and it wasn't even going to be that close. The way that the Ravens seem to be imploding a little bit, not a whole lot, not like Dallas, but Hollywood Brown throwing people under the bus.
Right.
I think that, Harbaugh's going to get them together and all that, but I think there's going to be upset. I think the Colts are going to pull it out. It's in Indianapolis. I think the Colts win 31-28. So, and you know what's crazy? That ain't even my upset special for this week. So,
no, I didn't even have an upset special.
Lions at Vikings.
I'm going Minnesota. Dalvin Cook is going to get it going, and despite Kirk Cousins. Yeah, I'm going Vikings 27-17.
So, the Lions have never won 3 games, or they haven't won 3 games in a row in a long, long time. Okay? Which is why it was a lock that they were going to lose to the Colts. New winning streak starts, though. I think the Lions beat the Vikings 30-24. Listen, man, just like I say, Phillip Rivers is the quarterback for the Colts. Yeah, that Kirk Cousins dude, I don't think he's going to.
Yeah, but Phillip Rivers ain't got that.
No. He do got some pretty decent running backs, though. Not Dalvin Cook. So, Bears at Titans.
BDN.
And this dude, by the way, just random, just because it pissed me off, freaking Saints, and we're stopping them, and BDN was playing like trash, and then with 3 minutes to go, he scores 10 points to tie the freaking game and cost me money. Because I had the Bears and Saints under 47.5, and it ended up being 29-26 Saints. You jerk.
I think BDN.
You jerk.
I think BDN is probably the second most inconsistent quarterback in the NFL. I mean, he's probably the one quarterback that's probably more inconsistent than Carson right now. So that's why I like it, and it's a shame because I like BDN, and that Bears defense is really good. But the Tennessee got a grown ass man on that team, and yeah, Tennessee 20-23.
And you know what? Tennessee's mad too. They had no business losing to Cincinnati, who is a better team than their record suggests. But they had no business losing that game. I think Tennessee wins at big 28-13. Panthers at Chiefs. I have the Chiefs 35-10. I don't know if you want to go into any details.
30-13 Chiefs.
Yeah, I just Christian McCaffrey's going to come back, but it's the Chiefs. It's just no. So
once again, Patrick Mahomes have weapons.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah. That Andy Reid guy, he's pretty good. You might have heard of him, especially with quarterbacks. Seahawks at Bills. It's interesting because Seahawks defense is so bad, and Josh Allen just has looked off the past 3 weeks.
Yeah, I'm still giving it. Listen, man. You know, we drafted JJ, our second Whiteside, who didn't even play last night.
He played.
I mean, he had a couple snaps. Which, hold on, before I get into this, that could have been on the what went right. It was a simple fact that they allowed some of these other, like Hightower and Fogum and Rieger and Ward all had more snaps than our second Whiteside. So that was pretty cool. But anyway, yeah, I'm going Seattle. DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, who has been once again somebody consistent for Russell Wilson. Y'all catching the theme here? Consistency, stability for Russell Wilson. So yeah, I'm going Seattle 27-20.
I have Seattle too. I think it's going to be 24-17. So we both think it's going to be a relatively close game. You know, it'll be interesting to see what the weather's going to be like in Buffalo. It's supposed to be nice, but you know that might play a little bit of an effect of it not being as higher scoring. Broncos at Falcons. Freaking Broncos, man. They look dead in the water, and
they surprised me.
Well, it's more San Diego. San Diego has blown 4 weeks in a row.
LA Chargers.
The LA Chargers. Listen, stop blowing 16-point leads, and I'll call you by your right city. Okay.
Well, yeah, there you go.
You know, but and poor Herbert, man. You know, so but you know, good for Drew Lock. And they're playing a Falcons team that you know, got another win against the Panthers, and you know it's weird because they look like an NFL team, but it wasn't an impressive win. Thoughts?
I'm going. I really went back and forth because I like the Lock kid. I'm gonna go Atlanta, and once again, because they have a reliable, stable receiver for their quarterback.
Well, I mean, Calvin Ridley's awesome. We all know you. We all know you think Julio Jones is trash.
I was going Julio. Julio is. Yeah,
he's that dude.
He's that dude. So, yeah, I'm going 27-28 Atlanta.
I will say this. If it was played in Denver, I would pick the Broncos. It's playing in Atlanta. I think they win by 10, 34-24. So now, we got the Raiders against those Chargers. Those Chargers that are pissing me. It's the same old Chargers. Doesn't matter. And it's Anthony Lynn that coach. If there was a coach that doesn't coach my team that I'm frustrated by, like, it's Anthony Lynn. But... So I guess you already know how I'm going to go with this pick, but Raiders at LA.
Yeah, I'm going Vegas baby 24-20.
I got Vegas 31-28. And the Miami Tuas against Kyler Murray and the Cardinals.
I think these two little short son bitches are going to be really good quarterbacks. Exciting. But kind of like, even though Arizona beat Seattle, and I thought Seattle, like little brother not being, I'm still going to use that, even though Murray's a year older, into the league, I'm going to go Arizona, but Miami's going to give them a fight now. I'm going Arizona 24-27.
Little knowledge. Did you know Arizona has a top 10 rushing defense? Did you know Miami has a top 10 passing defense? The quarterback tandem of Xavier Rhodes and Byron Jones, one of the best back then. This is Miami wins. I'm picking Miami. This is my upset. 28-24.
So now you got two upsets?
Well, I have three, I guess you could say, because I picked the Colts and I picked what was the other one?
I thought you picked Baltimore over Indy. Baltimore over. I thought you picked Baltimore.
I picked the Colts.
Oh, now you're right. Yeah, I have it marked down.
Yeah, and the Lions over the Vikings, which I don't view as an upset. But no, this is my official upset. I think Tua goes 2-0.
So you want to know a quick family tidbit about Arizona?
Sure.
Back in the 40s, when our grandmother...
I thought you were thinking about like a Kyler Murray family stat.
No,
I do know this, but
family
yes.
Back in the 40s, when our grandmother married our mother's father, they owned a little piece of land out in Arizona and sold it really, really cheap, just enough money to help put down on a house in Kensington.
Because
in Philadelphia.
Nothing's ever going to grow in Scottsdale.
Nothing's ever going to grow in Scottsdale, Arizona. Who knew?
And you're still picking the Cardinals, you bastard. So this is a game.
Yeah, because the state of Arizona seems to win. It makes better judgments.
So here is a game that at one time was a glorious game to watch. It'd be one of those games where
takes you back to the 70s,
right?
Or even the
90s.
Bradshaw.
I mean, in the 90s it was decent too. But Steelers at Cowboys.
Unlike their Eastern Pennsylvania fellows, they're not going to shit the bed. Pittsburgh is going to smack Dallas around like they owe them money, and it's going to be 30-13. And the only reason I'm giving them 13 points is because I think Dalton will they'll get a late touchdown on some.
Listen, if Duck Hodges was quarterbacking for the Steelers, they would win this game.
I think if Terry Bradshaw comes out the Fox TV and comes like he beats
Cordell. But I have them 35-10 Steelers.
I think Neil O'Donnell could beat this Cowboys team.
Let's just go through the list. I think Bubby Brister could beat this team.
I think Scott Tolzien.
Scott Tolzien.
I went there with it, bro.
What about Tommy Maddox? Does he beat this team?
Yes, Tommy Maddox beats this team. Mike Tomczak beats this team.
Mike Tomczak. Last year of his career, Mike Vick.
Yes, beats this team. Absolutely.
It's your turn.
Charlie Batch.
Charlie
Batch beats this team.
Oh. Okay. Right. So we're done with that. Game of the week to me, Saints at Bucks. Sunday night.
Yeah. You know what? I did this. I wrote this out because I left the top actually open and I wrote this out. I don't think it's the game of the week. I think.
What do you think the game of the week is?
Miami, Arizona.
Really?
It's going to be a fun game, I just think.
Oh.
I saw this. This is where stats are misleading, right? So what you call had a high QBR, which I hate that stat. Breeze. But at one point in time, he was like 5. He was like, I think at one point in time he was like 11 for 13. But it was for like
40 yards,
yeah. It was like 50 yards, some shit. Like, really, really. I think it's going to be, Tampa's going to win by double digits, but I'm just going to go with what I wrote down here. Going with Tampa, I put down 28-24. I'm going to change that.
Oh, gotcha.
I'm going to change that and put, I'm going to put 31-20.
Now, I will say this. You want to know why Drew Brees was 11 for 13 for like 50-some-odd yards?
Mm-hmm.
Because there was, guess what? Swirling winds in Chicago. And there was like over 40-mile-per-hour wind gusts. And that coach, Sean Payton,
so they played small ball?
Yeah, and they tried to rely on Kamara. And even though that defense was stopping Alvin Kamara, they stuck with the game plan and said, you know what, if we're going to win, because we're going to trust our defense, which the Saints defense is not as horrible as it has been. It's pretty decent against a quarterback who we don't believe can beat us in Nick Foles, and we don't believe Montgomery is going to be able to really beat us. And so and then when it came to, now the Saints defense let them down, giving up, as I mentioned, 10 points in 3 minutes. But they didn't have to take, and by the way, the Saints were missing their top 2 receivers. So they planned it out. They planned it out. With that being said, there will not be swirling winds in Tampa Bay. But I'm not betting against that Bucs defense.
So Drew Brees has what? A reliable weapon.
Oh, a running back, yes.
Yeah, even in the running back, even in the pass, but see, a reliable weapon that he's had multiple years with.
And a reliable coach. A reliable staff. And,
Imagine that. Okay.
But Tampa Bay, I think, wins 31-28 in a close one. I think the Saints are just going to come just short in a comeback. And then we get the Monday Night Football game that...
Just as a football
This Monday Night Football game is going to be worse.
It was one of the ugliest football games
I've
ever watched. I think this was going to top it.
You pass the Jets.
I think this was going to be... I'm going to go with New England 21-13.
I got New England 21-14, but I got to be honest with you. I would not be surprised if the Jets won by double digits. That's how bad New England's playing. Now, let's be fair. Cam Newton holds on to that ball. Okay? New England wins that game. Because I think they scored a touchdown on the very next play.
Yeah.
But he didn't. And Cam looks like I don't think I've ever seen a quarterback who has won an MVP look like he was about to cry at a post-game conference that wasn't announcing his retirement.
Yo, what's crazy is that, and this is, once again, this is where people just say shit and they, you see all the memes and all this. They're not very good, but they're not very good because they don't have talent on the team. Mm-hmm. They had 13 of their 22 starters opt out.
Well, not just that, and here's the thing.
Opt out because of the COVID.
It's a growing thing too, and people are hard on Cam. But you look at the weapons Cam has, it's very similar to what the Eagles are dealing with. I would argue the Eagles actually, right now, have better weapons than what the Patriots have.
And here's the thing. I'm not saying, real quick, I'm not saying Fulgham isn't good. Fulgham is a really good receiver. He's legit. I think Rieger's going to be a really good player. I think Greg Ward is a very good slot receiver, sorry. My issue is...
That would be Doug's next thing. Let's put him at corner.
Yeah, my issue is that, once again, this is Carson's first year with them. So that's why I'm not as hard on Carson. Let Carson is 27 years old, okay? Let's get this out of our heads that we're going to get rid of him. We're not. He is at least a minimal our starting quarterback for the next, not counting this year, for the next 2 seasons. Minimal. So let them get this year. Let's go into next offseason with these weapons. Okay? And coaching. Like you said, something needs to change this offseason. But at least one other, this kid has both. Neither has had consistency and been able to build anything with any of his weapons, and hasn't had steady coaching. At least, if you're going to change, which we need, as far as Doug giving up the play calling abilities. Nobody's saying fire Doug right now. I'm not.
No.
Give up your play calling duties to Deuce. You know what I'm saying? Who's been there forever? Give that up to Deuce. Bring in. I don't know where DeFilippo is right now. I don't know. He's a terrible offensive coordinator, but he was a hell of a quarterback coach. Or somebody that's going to put his foot in Carson's ass and let him have an all season with these weapons, and then let's make a judgment.
Listen, when Doug came into this league, he surrounded himself with very, very smart people. Whether you like it or not, Schwartz was very, very experienced at running a defense. And Wright was very, very experienced at running an offense. And DeFilippo was experienced with the quarterback coaching stuff. And it seemed like because Doug won the championship, he thought that he could groom all these people and wants to start a coaching tree. What I want you to do is just look across the street, right? You're at Lincoln Financial Field. Look across the street to that Wells Fargo Center. And look at what Doc Rivers, who was a very accomplished coach, been doing it for a long time, did. He's bringing all these people in that are very, very smart. Yeager, who could have easily been the Sixers head coach, and we would have been happy with it. He's bringing in, Sam Cassell, who's an up-and-comer. He's bringing, all the people that he's surrounded with him.
But you want to know also what he did? These are all people what? That he's coached with. He's familiar with. He's had stability with. Even the VP of basketball operations, who they brought in from Houston, has worked with Doc Rivers before.
You mean he didn't just say, "Oh, there's some guy that likes hunting, and Carson likes hunting over to Stanford. Let's grab him." He didn't do that.
No, they did not do that.
Wow. Well, listen, enjoy the bye week. It's one of those weeks where, as an Eagles fan, we don't have to be stressed on Sunday. Check out the pick segment. We're going to try to get it up Saturday. If not, it will be Sunday morning. I will say that first week I was 5-1. This week I was 3-3. And we'll go through that. And you were actually, you did a parlay, and we predicted Carson would run over 20 yards, which he didn't. So, but hey, it happens. My point being, we actually came up on a positive 2 weeks in a row. So please check that out. Don't forget, like and subscribe. We're going to try to develop even more content. Please comment. Let us know what you like. Let us know what you don't like. Whatever it may be. And just have a great and safe week. Anything else you want to add?
Still going to Super Bowl.
We are. I don't know how much the tickets are. Flights.
I gotta have big bet.
And with that,
like and subscribe.